Before we start, let's get one thing straight right away. You do know that being interested in kinky sex doesn't mean you are into porn, right? Though, to be honest, one person's kink is another's porn. As for some people, even having sex with a light on is considered pretty raunchy. So, before delving into the world of kinky sex, I want to make it absolutely clear that you don't need to panic and get all flustered. We're going to give you an insight into spicing up your sex life and having much better sex, not instructions on how to get ready for your starring role in the next big adult movie. Keeping a check on your sex life is one of the most important parts of a relationship, especially in the early stages when the initial passion has started to lose some of its spark. The biggest mistake that many men make is assuming that kinky sex is something you can only find on the internet, or worse, still something you have to pay for. For some reason, they believe that their wife or partner wouldn't be happy partaking in some non-missionary actions. Guys, get real. A great majority of us women think about kinky sex on a daily basis, and we are actually one of the main instigators of introducing sex toys into the bedroom. If you think about it, your partner is going to be far more uptight if she caught you in private browsing mode than she will be if you suggested browsing a sex toy site so you can both have better sex. Adult shops have become much more mainstream and acceptable in this day and age. Branded toys are openly discussed in sitcoms, and women feel able to talk about them with their friends and even hold parties in their homes so they, along with their friends, can purchase them. So how and when exactly do you start a conversation with your partner in order to get an idea of the type of kinky sex you can introduce to spice up your sex life? Firstly, you must bear in mind that timing is all important. It's not a kind of conversation you want to start when either you or your partner have had a bad day at work or either of you are tired. You need to pick up the moment very carefully and make absolutely sure you don't sound like you're desperate. Secondly, we need to break this down into areas of kinkiness which don't seem like you and your partner have just stepped into a world of porn. Many couples actually engage in kinky style sex without even realizing it. So let's look at some different areas of kink which mean you can indulge in better sex. Voyeurism. Voyeuristic activities involve things which are aimed at watching and those where you get to watch. For example, seeing a couple have sex in an adult movie is voyeuristic in itself, and it's a pleasure for both men and women alike. Guys, don't get all tied up in the fact that it's only guys that get turned on watching sexual acts. There are as many women that get turned on as there are men. In fact, some surveys say women enjoy it more. It doesn't always have to involve actually seeing the act. It can also be the fact that you may get caught in the act, which is a pleasure booster. This is why dogging became such a big thing, as it catered for those not only involved in actually performing sexual acts, but also those watching. Of course, the idea of getting caught is extremely arousing for some, but perhaps would put a fear of dread in others. However, remember you can get just as much excitement from having sex on your dining room table. Can the neighbors see in? Performing oral sex in your partner in a car park. Will anyone happen by? Having sex in the surf on a deserted beach. How deserted is it really? The only thing you really need to consider is whether or not you are actually breaking the law. Remember that a bit of touchy-feely here and there won't cause you anywhere near the same amount of problems as having full-blown sexual intercourse. So indulge your desires whenever you think she's in the mood, and it's bound to result in better sex for you both. Give her a little teasy spank as she walks past you in the bar. Slip your hand up her skirt under the table when you think no one is looking, and show her that whatever anyone else thinks, she means the world to you and you to her. Fantasy. Probably one of the biggest turn-ons in any relationship is the world of fantasy. But do remember that it doesn't mean you are able to fantasize about anything you feel like. She really isn't going to want to know that you go to bed each night thinking about that brunette you saw in the bar last week, or the latest hottie on Instagram. It means embracing the characteristic of each other's fantasies and making the most of them if you want better sex. One little trick is to listen out or watch for hints, especially useful if you don't feel like you can come straight out and ask what kind of actors interest her, which celebrities is she into, and most importantly, why. Remember, it's easier to ask her why she prefers Chris Hemsworth over Keanu Reeves, for example, than ask her who her ultimate fantasy man is. Listen out for clues such as things to do with their personality and then work a scenario from that. Roleplay. Roleplay is the next step from fantasy, and it's a great way to explore each other's fantasies in a totally guilt-free manner. You have the freedom to become someone else whom either you or your partner have dreamed of being. Let's be clear here. You don't have to set a blaze to become that amazingly dreamy fireman she's always lusted after, and you do need to be careful if you are going to attempt a fireman lift. She will, however, appreciate any chivalrous act as a step towards being saved in this fantasy. The more time you spend discussing the roles each of you will play, the more you'll realize that most of it can simply happen inside your head. Cosplay. Room service. Moving further into the world of roleplay and fantasy, you can try some cosplay where your roles also incorporate a look that goes with a fantasy you're acting out. Some of the more common, such as maid, waiter, waitress, doctor, nurse, teacher, are pretty easy to accomplish in the safety and comfort of your own home. They don't even require any specific clothing to start with, just a bit of imagination and a willingness to use a little bit of fantasies and to be able to indulge in the play. Go shopping. Although I've left this until last, it's probably the easiest method of all to better sex and having much more fun in or out of the bedroom. You can go and visit your local adult shop, or better still, stay at home and shop online. Many of the online shops are now geared towards women. They are full of pink, fluffy handcuffs, stylized vibrators, and sexy underwear that actually come in proper sizes. Even just spending a little time looking through the sites will bring a buzz to your bedroom antics. When you feel brave enough to actually order something, remember it really does still arrive in plain, nondescript packaging. Above all, try and have fun in or out the bedroom, and bear in mind always that if you don't ever explore, you'll never know. Take it slowly and be honest with each other, and you'll have much more better sex. Thank you for watching, and if you like more videos like this, please subscribe.